Hello, everybody. We're going to be kicking off quite shortly. Just waiting on my co host. In the meantime, enjoy some Hove. Yeah. Real quick, I want to share with y'all a song I discovered today by Latin Mafia. It's been stuck in my head ever since I heard it. That is Latin Mafia. Hot new artist. Just discovered him today. Looks promising. Looks like we got Joel hopping on right now. Yo.
Greetings, microphone check.
Yeah.
1 2 1 2. Is it clear? Because I know I have some microphones that don't work.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we're about to get this going. Yesterday, because I had some hot takes I wanted to say on the previous pod.
Oh yeah, we didn't get
and
through everything.
we got stuck in the debate, and that's all I've been hearing on ESPN for the past days.
Oh lol.
Have you noticed the discussions they've been having on caught up or surpassed or is going to surpass?
What? MLS or what are you talking about?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah. And
yeah.
I was like, oh man, hold on.
Yeah.
Kid, my kid's toy thing.
This guy is juguete.
It's that car thing. It's like a steering wheel with buttons.
As
And it
long as
sounds
you
like
don't ain't got Baby Shark, we good, bro. Cause that thing's annoying.
nah, we don't.
There's
I don't
this
have it.
dude, I stay like on Reddit and there's a subreddit where it's like toys slowly dying. Like cause
Oh,
the batteries, like how like with like
okay.
with those toys, like it's kinda hard to get into the batteries, so over time, like what ends up happening is like the pitch just like slows down and it just becomes like a creepy ass toy.
Okay, I know what they're talking about. Or they have some type of screw that it's like,
Yeah, it's like a fucking tri-wing screw or like
yeah, it's a
you're like, what the
fucking
fuck,
triangle.
dude?
I had a guitar, like a little guitar, and then it can make guitar sounds in it. It was pretty fun to play with.
Oh, okay.
Um, it had like 5 buttons or something, and then it's like you could like you were shredding, and yeah, that happened. Dude, eventually, like the battery like died out, and it would make a weird, creepy sound.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, let me kick this off then, and then we'll start talking.
But we have Pumas being
We have we can talk about Pumas, we can talk about Chivas, we can talk about Santiago Naveda. Um
oh, there's a Polish guy.
and then I feel like there's more going on, but yeah,
All right,
we'll get into it.
okay, cool.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Cantina Mex Football Podcast. I'm your host, Jaime Landeros, episode 344, casting simultaneously on YouTube and Twitter Spaces. So head on over there right now if you're listening and ask us some questions. Hop on the chat. Feel free to send us your love letters, your questions, your answers, your comments. But tonight we're going to be talking about Pumas and how they embarrassed Liga MX and Mexico on the global stage. Chivas do not like victorias. They can't drink them because they don't have one this season. And talk about some more last-minute transfers for some players going to Europe. This and much, much more. We got MLS versus Liga MX All-Star action tomorrow. They had the skills competition today, so we'll talk about that. But before we go any further, let me welcome Joel. Joel, how we doing?
I'm doing good, Jaime. I'm doing pretty good. Looking forward to this Clásico coming up.
Oh, no.
Clásico Tapatio. Should be interesting. I think it could make or further break the goats.
Damn, man. Why you gotta say some bad? Man, I was in a good mood, and then you just reminded me about this. Oh, man.
We're going to have to talk about it sooner or later.
Yeah. Just a disclosure. My voice might go by the end of this night. I've been having like a weird like sore throat. I don't have COVID or anything. It's been weird. Can't figure it out yet, but
Oh, man.
I might need someone to like sign language for me later on. But I mean, can we just talk about the elephant in the room right off the bat? Pumas had a friendly against Barcelona for the Gamper Trophy. It's a traditional preseason match that Barcelona does every single year to sort of kick off their season before their season starts, and they invite a special guest that they can play against. And of course, it was quite appropriate that they invited Pumas because they recently acquired Dani Alves, so it was a nice way for Dani Alves to get a nice little hurrah from Barcelona and their fans. And you know what? I was looking forward to this because in years past, Pumas have done the impossible. They beat Real Madrid in a similar like sort of trophy, right? Like
Yes.
when Hugo Sanchez was the coach. So I was like, hey, like let me see what they can do. And within the first minute of the match, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be goleada. And that's exactly what happened. Barcelona were up like 4-0 within the first like 20 minutes of the match. And it was men against like, I'm not even going to say boys. It was men against like toddlers out there. It was so embarrassing that Barcelona at one point were like, all right, you know what? We're just going to pass the ball around.
You're not even going to try, huh? It was like that league where your nephew plays.
Yeah, man. I was watching my nephew play over the weekend, and I was excited to see him because I never have time to see him. And like they were up like 5 goals, similar to the Barcelona beatdown. Honestly, they were up 5 goals in the first half, and I guess there's a rule where you're not allowed to score more goals for the rest of the game because this is how they're teaching sports to kids nowadays. There's there's a mercy rule. There's no like tough losses. No like eating your mistakes. It's like no 5-0, and then if you score another one, we're gonna punish you. Like what the hell, dude? What is
Oh,
this?
they would put. I've heard of those leagues, and they were like they're meant to be like friendly leagues just for fun.
Yeah,
Uh, I guess it's cool if it's like beginner, like you're just beginning to play. And yeah, I do remember seeing this one league where it's like no matter what the score was, the games would end with a 2-2 tie.
oh god.
So yeah, you could win 5-0, but it would go on the official thing as a 2-2 draw. So
Yeah.
everybody ended up with at the end of the season, every same points, same same goals.
And then who wins the league? It's whoever's got the most minorities on the team. Is that
Every
is that how that works?
I was gonna say everyone gets a trophy, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did, and they had some type of added rule.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, but with Barcelona, man, they were just like on another level. And it's like the part that pisses me off is like not that they lost. That can happen to any team. Barcelona's a great team. You know, it's the part it's the build up to the match, right? All these players on Pumas were like taking selfies. They're at the Sagrada Familia. They're at Las Ramblas. They're like, just we're on a little vacation. Like, you could tell that they weren't taking it serious at all, and it was evident on the pitch. And I'm like, bro, this is your one chance since like 16 when Leon played Barca. This is like Liga MX's one opportunity to like showcase like our skill to the rest of the world, and like you guys just embarrassed us and made us look like we're just like a potato league, man. It's just like I wish they would have
Uh,
taken it a little bit more serious.
yeah, you're right. You're right in that regard, where it's like it does. The league gets to be showcased to around the world and to people that normally won't don't get to see Mexican football. And yeah, it is like it makes the league look like a banana league. And they get in, you know they get whooped on so easy. And the reality is, of course, Mexican teams have always been able to put on a pretty good fight, and we could see the results through the years. They speak for themselves. As you said earlier, same Pumas, but under Hugo Sanchez beat Real Madrid, and I guess that was the difference. Like I think the coach probably dropped the ball. If the players are over there sightseeing instead of like just getting ready for the game, and I do think that that was the one thing where it's like maybe they got overconfident and didn't think that Barca was going to defeat them that easy. They probably were expecting to lose, but not to get humiliated at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, and like another thing too is like if you're a professional player and you have aspirations of like maybe going to Europe, this is the one opportunity to fuck. It's like a tryout, man. It's like, yo, this is who I am. I'm gonna go out there and bust my fucking ass and like get myself like recognized. Like, there's so many eyeballs on this match looking at Barcelona. But if you're a player, like, oh, who's that guy? Who's that guy? He's like busting his ass out there, dude. These players were like walking and shit. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Like, I would have taken out the entire like starting 11 like at halftime. I'd be like, you know what? You guys don't deserve to be on the pitch.
I wouldn't be surprised if probably Dani Alves took him to a whorehouse. This happened. I think it was 1999. I'm trying to remember, just going off the top of my head, but it was under 20 World Cup. I might be off, but the important thing is what happened. Not the tournament. Well, yeah, the tournament as well, because Mexico had just defeated Argentina, and Argentina was one of the favorites when they were candidates, and Mexico beats them. And the other top team at that time was Spain, and and so Mexico had just whooped in Argentina, and their next opponent was Japan, and then I think if they beat Japan, they would have gone to the final to play Spain. And anyways, when they played Japan, oh, the team just looked it just looked like a different team that had, the one had beaten Argentina, and the Japanese looked like they were like on fire, man. The players just running circles and on point, and the Mexican team just looked spent. They looked drained, and and I remember seeing that and thinking like what the fuck happened? You know, is Japan that good, or was it a fluke that they beat Argentina? And this I do remember clearly. It was an article coming out in La Opinion, and they said one of the reporters was saying that they caught the Mexican team had been celebrating at a whorehouse.
Oh wow.
And see, when we're going really far back, but I remember that the FMF threatened to sue if they didn't pull the story or retract. And they said like they held on to their guns, man. They're like, we got proof, you know, like we got receipts, so bring it. And then the story just kind of got swept under the rug. So who knows what happened, you know?
Wow.
Who knows what happened? Um, I would like to maybe dig into this more because it this was '99, so stuff wasn't like now with social media.
Yeah.
So it was easier to bury shit. And I don't know if this was reported in Mexico because you didn't have access. Like, it was not like, and even then, like, not all the places had like, you were just getting at the start of the internet, and then not a lot of places had like websites, or it wasn't like it is now. And then even now, like a lot of places don't have like their older articles. Like you won't find a lot of the old shit in there. Like it's for a lot of the websites. But I'm gonna have to ask, man. I'm gonna have to ask around if anyone remembers this. But I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happened.
Yeah. We'll see, man. I mean, Barcelona is known to be a party city. Either way, though, it's like
Well, I mean, you're with Alves. It's like, hey, I know the hot spots too. Let's just go. We're having a rager, man.
I'll tell them to go easy on you guys tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Lewandowski, and I don't know, like, I don't want this to be like, oh, this is a preview of what the Poland Mexico game might look like, but I mean, Lewandowski's sharp, man. I know he's not gonna have like the supporting cast he has at Barcelona when we do have that match, but he doesn't need much. He doesn't need much to create goals. So it's kind of scary to see him out there in really good form. And the way Mexico's been performing and the what I've been looking at, their output is just not there. And I'm not really looking forward to this World Cup if I'm being completely honest.
It's the Mexico team is like Chivas. They can't score.
It's the sad truth. Uh,
It,
I do want to hear from Ricardo on this topic. It looks like he's already listening to us, so I'm gonna invite him to speak if he wants to speak up. Um, were you able to like catch any of the highlights of the match?
which match? You're telling me,
The
or you're
the
telling
Pumas,
Ricardo?
the Pumas Barca.
Oh no, sir. No,
Uh,
no.
yeah, dude, that could have been like a little like mixtape, like how they used to do like on YouTube back in the days. They take all the clips of all these like players just straight up bawling, and then they would like put them all together and stuff. That's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be a bunch of highlight reels of like Lewandowski going in on Pumas, but like Rafinha too. He had one that was like nutmeg. I'm like, just damn, bro, this is just stop it already. Let's talk about Guadalajara. They had a match on the road against Mazatlan on Friday. and this really pissed me off because I had heard about VIX. It took over what was called Prende TV. Prende TV was completely free. That's how I caught most of the Euros over the summer and stuff. And now it's like called VIX, and they said, "Oh yeah, you can only watch this match in the if you're in the United States, you can only watch it with a VIX Plus subscription." I'm like, "Are you guys really like paywalling this match right now?" And it was, I think it's like $6.99, and it looks like a lot of the matches that were typically free if you had through the NA are now starting to be pushed over to VIX because they want to.
I think that's Televisa's online platform.
Yeah, because it's also in Mexico too, so it's like
Yeah, but it belongs to them.
yeah. So I didn't. I'm not gonna pay to watch Chivas lose. So I'm like, you know what? I'm like, it's on YouTube. So if you have YouTube, but you change your VPN to Mexico, like TV Azteca like broadcast these games like for free. So I was like, I'll do that, and like I'm just watching them, and like they're losing. And I'm like, oh god, and I'm like, you know what? I'm good for the rest of the night. And they end up losing the match 2-1, and I mean, we're not talking that they're not playing against like hitters, bro. They're playing against like teams that they should be winning against, and they can't even get a win, a victory. We're 7 weeks in, man, and it's like
Ouch.
I don't think it's Dick Chain's fault though. Like I don't know whose fault it is, but it's just bad, man.
Well, it's and you know what, I'm gonna say this is something that Almeida said because they were showing what was it? They were putting one of the one of the sports shows. I don't know which one. They put the worst starts of Chivas in the short season history,
Oh yeah,
right? And two of those came under Almeida.
really.
And
I remember
yeah,
like sharing the screenshot, but I didn't know both of them were under Almeida.
no, there's like 4 or 5 and two twice. He made
I have to find it now.
it's on the it's on the Chivas group
Okay.
we have
Oh, let me
the
see. 20.
super secret.
Oh, so 2016, 8, 8.
Yes,
They were 0, 6, and 2. And then 2017, 0, 5, and 2. Okay.
it was forgiven though because it was Almeida. See, and this is when I used to criticize him, and I used to, they hated him because he spoke the truth. Um, and I wasn't like against him. I was just trying to say, you guys are chroming this guy too much, and he's you know, I don't think he's a bad coach. But so I'm gonna say something he had said around the time, and he said, "We're the worst. We're the team that el peor equipo que se reforzó, no, que, el peor equipo en refuerzos." He said that Chivas was the team that did the worst in the offseason as far as bringing in players.
Oh.
And that's been the case a lot of times. It's just uh, one of the realities of the team where it's like, it's not always the ownership as well. It's just teams don't really want to sell players. They don't have a need to sell them. So, and it's like, not only do they want to sell, there's not that many players. So that's the one thing Chivas has been doing as well. It's like, well, we're not just gonna go after any player, um, just because we need them. We're gonna go only after certain players. And that I would say the only one that breaks that mold is Ormeño, and I think one of the reasons they did it was just to like open that door of like having players that are Mexican, and but then probably play for another national team, which we might start seeing a few pretty soon. Like, wait, was Abreu's kid born in Mexico or was he born in Uruguay?
It's a good question. I have no idea.
He was born in Mexico.
There you go. Thank you, sir. So someone like that, and I know there's a Chileno too, Galmez or Galdes or whatever.
Galdames.
There you go. Thank you, sir. Someone does their homework. as the guy says. I'll be the guy on the side, copying your notes. Uh, so I think that's what Chivas is trying to do, and where it's like they kind of did it before with the Pochos when they introduced them, and then it was like the first time it was like some noise, and then after that no one cared.
So you're
And so I
saying the
think
next step will be naturalizado?
I did, and I said this a long time ago. Yes, it will be. At this rate, they have to because the dude, the league doesn't care if, to have like they're having what 8 players, up to 8 could play in the team at the same time. Um, who was it talking? Jaime, we shared this note too. Um, they were talking about Spain second division, and he said how in Spain second division you could only field 2 foreign players.
Yeah.
And so then that was, and I've known this for a lot of these lower divisions from playing Football Manager. I used to like to take teams from the segunda to the top. But so I, so like that was the difference when I remember people would say Liga MX, well, these top leagues they're filled with foreigners, and yeah, that's true. But their lower leagues, they got so many local talent playing and coming up that it makes a difference. And Mexico is the opposite. Mexico's second division is filled with foreigners too. A lot of old dudes, man.
A lot of old
Good
players.
players. Yeah, they're like in their 40s. You're wondering where they're at. They're
Yeah.
And Spain's second division, they got talents like Pedri,
yes.
and a while back when Real Madrid got Isco from Malaga.
Mala was in second.
Wasn't it in second?
No, no, I was just asking. They're one of those teams that jump up and down.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's true, dude, and I think that's what hurt Mexico as well. That the lower divisions just too many foreigners, and it's like the young guys don't really have where to play. They're not getting the playing time that they need.
But isn't oh buenas noches to
Oh,
both of you,
oh yeah, where
Buenas
are our
noches.
manners?
of
Buenas
course.
noches.
But isn't that lazy argument on Chivas' behalf to expect every other team to do their dirty work?
No,
It's not?
look, no, because this is the thing.
I
Let's
agree
think.
with your points, but playing devil's advocate, don't you think Chivas dropped the ball on what they got to do as well?
No, I think because one thing that we've seen recently was how other teams started investing in youth, and so they've been doing a really good job of sniping talent from all over the place. Um, and so you have like the Pachucas, the Santos, Atlas, Pumas, some of these
Necaxa,
teams, yeah, Necaxa too now. But you do have some of these teams that before didn't really, and America, we have to mention America.
don't
And
forget
so,
about my team hall.
I think I said America.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, and but see, then that just made it more difficult. Where before a lot of these teams didn't really care too much, and they're more aggressive with the scouting now. So it's like Chivas like before. It's like almost didn't even have to try. And so yeah, I do think it's hurt them. The competition is hurt them. But I think what hurts them the most is the teams just not fielding Mexican players. So when they go shopping, and I made this comparison before. It's like it's like Chivas going for refuerzos is like when we were going to the store to look for toilet paper, right right when the whole what was it, the COVID? What was it, the one that hit?
Pandemic.
Yeah, when it first started, I still don't know why toilet people are buying toilet paper.
It's weird.
Yeah, but I mean, you couldn't find no toilet paper. You couldn't find water either, man.
A bunch of
I,
cagones.
but it was like that for Chivas. I mean, they can't find the players, and there's a lot of you know players that just end up kind of disappearing because they kind of get they kind of age out. it's like you have this like you kind of have like this window of like development between like 17 to 21 type of thing, and it's like Mexico's just been like, you know, just kind of wasting a lot of talent just because they don't have where anywhere for them to play. Um,
A
that's
good,
one of the things we were
yeah.
praising, and you're gonna hate this, Ricardo, but we were, or at least I was, some league that was created between Liga MX and MLS. I forgot the name of it. We covered it when it was first announced.
Is it NW something?
Something like that, but I mean, it's going to be scouted, and this league here is going to have 30 teams. So, I mean, even if you send 5 players to play in this league over here, or that end up in Liga MX, that's 5 more than we didn't have. But
Well, that league sounds like an abomination.
not for those 5, 10 players that gonna become professional.
See, oh, I get your point, but you made the comparison of Chivas like shopping during the pandemic, right?
Yeah,
Well, I would counter that and say Chivas goes and tries to shop at the 99-cent store. They want everything at a bargain.
yeah.
There's players out there. You can go down the list. Midfielder, I would say where you do have a point, probably the strikers slash forwards. There, you got me on that. But we're talking about midfielders, even goalkeeper. Well, not goalkeepers to an extent, I guess, not so much either. But midfielders and defenders, right? There's a bunch of young defenders and midfielders in Liga MX right now.
Yeah.
I would have
There
to
is, but
disagree with
I
you.
mean, how many are there that you could say the team is willing to sell them? Because
Everyone's got their price. Just Chivas
Everyone
aren't
has
willing
a
to.
price of all.
Chivas aren't willing
well,
to spend for him because
Mm,
Ricardo
my
Peláez is using transfer market as like the reference. I'm like, dude, you can't be using that website,
I don't know if he was using that, man. Unless he said that. That's the other thing. Come on, Jaime. We can't be like those sites that.
dude. He
that
said
he
he was.
said it.
He said he was looking at that kid from Cincinnati. That, oh, well, we checked our sources and he was worth like 500K. You
yeah,
didn't
but
check
then
shit, bro. You went on transfermarket.com and you typed in his name and said, oh, we should throw an offer for 500K because that's what it says he's worth.
Any good player is gonna be at that price range. Well,
no,
Chivas is
but
just brainwashed the league and other teams are thinking, oh, everyone's overprices us. But
no,
good players starting rate is 5 mil and up.
yeah, but we're talking about a youth in like what is it, semi-pro league. So, and if you look at like if we look at okay, how many players does that league sell and how much do they go for? I'm willing to bet it'll be around that price. Um, so I don't really see that like because man, if that league is selling players for 5 million, that I mean they're doing something right. I really doubt it. Um, we'll get at best maybe 1.5, 2 million. I don't
What
really see.
your mics has some like weird feedback.
Okay, what about now?
Yeah, I can still kind of hear it.
Okay, let me try to. I'm gonna get another one.
All right, for sure. So Ricky, what'd you think of the Pumas beatdown? Did you watch it?
I I was at the hospital. I didn't have a chance to see it because I was at the hospital, but I was keeping up with it on Twitter, and as expected, man, the Pumas, the false giant, getting porked by Barcelona, the broke giant. You know,
It's a good way to put it. Yeah.
but a lot of people are overreacting. But I understand your point. I was listening to you guys talk earlier. Yeah, they should have uh, given a better effort. But I think like what's a good what would be a acceptable result for you? 3-0, 3-1. Like
I would have liked them to see them score.
yeah, all right, I'll give you that. They probably should have scored, but I'm not surprised if to be honest.
Yeah. And it's like the scoreline really doesn't matter. It's just like the effort that was displayed on the
Hmm.
pitch. It just wasn't there. Um, talk about players that weren't there. You shouldn't be familiar with this player. Santiago Naveda is going all the way to Poland to get an opportunity. And I was looking into this kid. I mean, he made his professional debut in 2020. He's had a handful of games for America, and
Hmm.
I was
Full.
on. I was like, yo, like I know everyone is like excited about players going to Europe and everything, but this is the potato league, literally a potato league. Poland. It is not a better league than Liga MX. I don't care what you say. So
You're
it's like,
you're you're absolutely right, Jaime. But I think this kid, by all accounts, what I've seen, this kid got froze out by America. I'm let's not forget. Well, I don't know if you know, but that was Solari's like confiado. That was like his guy. He debuted him and everything. And from what I'm hearing, Tano is not to his liking. So I
I
think
see.
it was either right on the bench or on the under 21s, or he just took the opportunity to go out and play. And I agree with you. It's freaking Poland. I mean, but hopefully it goes well for him. I could easily see him on any other, another Liga MX
That's
team,
what I'm
but
saying. It's like I get it. Like
from what
everyone's,
I've seen, he was good.
yeah. I remember he had like a few good games. And I'm just like, if he's not even making the bench like at America, then how good is he really? You know what I mean? But America is a tough squad to break into. So I'm just like surprised that we're sending his ass all the way to Poland, and it's like, oh, where he would not even be a starter in America, he's all of a sudden like gonna be a big star in Poland. Like I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to me. And it reminds me a lot of Omar Govea's like trajectory, because he was at America and then
Yeah,
he,
another America kid. Yep.
he went to like Belgium and never heard from him again.
Hmm.
Hello,
Good example.
What's up,
is
Joel?
the speaker better?
Yeah,
Okay, good, good. Making sure. I think it's we talked about the sacrifice some of these players have to make, and they take a wage cut and whatnot, and to go to Europe and play over there, and and one of the things that makes it difficult for them is not having that EU passport.
Hmm.
So you could be good or you could do good, but not having that is like the teams reserve those spots for play. You're like almost competing with now some elite players now.
there ain't no elite
They're
players in Poland, dog. This team just
no,
got
but
promoted from the second division.
I know, but I'm saying like if you like, let's say a team in La Liga, and so it's like he's doing good, but at the same time it'll take a foreigner spot, and so it's like they think twice about bringing in
Yeah,
a player like that because
A Mexican.
yeah.
A Mexican. A Mexican player. Because you guys mentioned, I don't know if it was you or that mentioned before. I mean, all those RGs and Brazilians, they go to Europe because they have a history, right? Like a team will think, oh, Brazilian, Argentine, let me get them for my team.
Well, the Argentines, a lot of them, they can easily get the EU passport.
yeah. They
Yeah,
claim they're like Italian or German or some
that one
shit.
percent.
No, it's a lot of. It's not 1%. It's a
Someone ate a
lot.
meatball and he's Italian.
No, it's no, because a lot of them, um, so like the Second World War, Argentina opened their borders, and they let in a lot of immigrants from Europe, and
You mean they let in a lot of Nazis? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
that that true. That I mean that too, but there's a lot of like Polacos and a lot of Italians came in, Spaniards and Russians from all over. So for a lot of them, you go back to that. It's not that far off, and so it's easy to find the relative, the connection, and then get the EU passport. It's not. It won't be as difficult, even if they no longer have a connect. And then a lot of them still, even still have connections. But
Nací en
like
Argentina,
even,
pero yo soy italiano.
yeah, I knew
Mira
a
mi
brother.
nariz.
I
Who's this
knew
new
a
person that jumped on?
new person.
That's my impression of Argentina. It's pretty good, huh?
No, it's
Yeah, pretty good.
you fool Ricardo. No, I
I watch a lot of Familia Peluche. Okay.
Excellent
the
show.
maid. They made the maid. I know you did that on purpose. Um, no, that's the one thing. And then Brazil, just because Brazil has that fame, not just pentacampeones or however many championships they have by now, but also they're playing, the type of player they have. That's always been a big attraction.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to. Like they have that, like you mentioned, that fame of going over there and doing good. That's what I meant. Like how many Mexicans do you like? How you don't see that many Mexicans in Europe?
Yeah, but that struggle is not just for Mexicans. A lot of players from like Africa and then the other parts of South America, the Ecuadores, the Perus,
Hmm.
they go through the same. Um, yeah, I don't think we could be comparing to Brazil and Argentina. That's just it like going to the extreme.
Well, mentioning that kid, why didn't you guys try to go for that kid
For who?
for Naveda?
I don't know.
I mean, who knows?
It'd be a good question for
Who do you
Belize.
guys have as a five right now?
We have a bunch of kids, man. I don't know their names, but we have like Laro Torres, and maybe they keep trying to like put some new players on.
Yeah, there's also the possibility he might not, you know, that he wanted to go to Europe, or that he just didn't want to go to Chivas.
Yeah.
That's the possibility too, and it's something we've been seeing more recent now, because Chivas used to be the team that everybody wanted to be there. Chivas or America, and that was like the teams you wanted to be in,
It's only America now.
and
It's
that's just not the case anymore.
Manchester
Did you
City,
listen
bro.
to your boy Chicharito?
It's
How he
Manchester
said
City
he,
now.
yeah.
They're not thinking about America or Chivas. They're thinking about Manchester City.
No, but the canteranos that do come out,
Yeah.
I from what I've seen, they feel it more for America than the Chivas players do for Chivas.
Wow.
Like that young kid that I'm raving over, Emilio Lara, el pelon. That kid was balling out against against those against Atletico Noa Noa.
No, I, there's I think there's some truth to that. Omar Bravo was talking about it, and he was saying that Chivas lacks like like
Like
goddamn,
identity.
no, not identity, like referentes, like players
Mm-hmm.
Marketing.
that it's no, not marketing. Like you have a player that, for example, is like if you had like did I say Omar Bravo? It was Marco Fabian talking. If you had like one player that was like a woeful, like a player that was like an idolo in his maybe in his last days, and he's at the club still, and so the club hasn't had players like that in a long time.
Hey, man.
The players that
Miguel
were like,
Ponce is right there.
it's not,
Miguel Ponce is
you,
a great
you know,
defender. He's been at the club forever. And on top of that, he's a great singer, man.
he, and Osvaldo Sanchez, players that rose. They were,
Oh, you talking about the America reject?
that
The
the
only
player
thing that
from
guy ever
Atlas.
did good was wear that beautiful goalkeeper
Oh,
jersey
my God.
that America had back in the day. That black one. Beautiful jersey. That's the only thing he's good for.
America.
Oh, man.
And he said that he was saying, and it's true, they do lack those type of players
Well, I
because
mean,
they just
look at how they treat him.
not only that, they haven't been able to get them back. Like when a lot of these guys return, they don't return to Chivas. A lot of them return to Tigres or
Yep.
America, Monterrey. And that that
MLS.
has that has hurt. Yeah, that has hurt Chivas where it's missing those players that it if you're the youth, now you're playing with this dude that could have been your idol, or it just boosts of confidence because it's like when this guy was here, the team won uh,
Oh,
a championship or whatever, a
yeah.
cup, and now they just feel more confident they could do that now. And yeah, they haven't been able to get a player like that. Like all eyes are on Alexis, man, and he got he got he got signed with the extension, and it was like kryptonite. As soon as he signed on the dotted line, it's like he just went limp.
No, he can't do it himself, man. But I will mention Pilas did say that he was struggling to find players with leadership capabilities, and like the team lacks like people that were willing to take that role on. Polillo didn't want it. Vega doesn't want it. It's like nobody wants it. The only guy that wants it is the retard that celebrates slide tackles.
Pollazo.
El pollazo.
I would.
El cuck pollazo.
That
What
dude's
is it? Cock? Where's that coming from?
You- Hey, I'm a chismoso, man. You got to keep up with
Okay,
this stuff, Joel.
okay.
He, his woman was at another was another guy, and supposedly he knew about it.
Oh man.
Man, Chivas is full of cucks, briseño, chicharito. Like, oh damn, man.
Oh snap! I can't even
Wait,
counter
maybe
that.
he's onto something. We need another Luis Michel to reverse the cuck.
Oh
Something's
goddamn!
going down in that city, man.
Well, speaking about cucking, Chivas play Atlas on Saturday at home. At home. I don't think there will be barras bravas at the match. So it'll be a little bit more PG, a little bit more friendly. But let's be honest, like ain't no one looking forward to this matchup if you're a Chivas fan. However, maybe this is the day that you break duck. Maybe this is the game that you win. Finally, it took 8 weeks, but you beat the current champions, the bicampeones, and maybe go on the path to repechaje. Because as bad as this start is, they're in second to last place with 5 points. But guess what? Thanks to repechaje, it doesn't take much for them to get back in the
No,
in the mix.
but and I don't want to sound negative, but this kind of goes into what Ricardo was saying about players that feel the jersey. Um, and I think this is where liking some of these leadership type players kind of hurts the team.
Hmm.
But what I do think, because I think this Atlas is filled with like a lot of players that they brought. I don't know how many canteranos they really have. So Chivas might have more um, canteranos on the team. Some of these young guys might be the ones that are gonna get it done. I don't think some of these other guys that what is it, Turch and some of these other dudes that came from other teams care too much for this Clásico as like the youth that they've been playing it their whole lives.
Oh yeah, at the youth levels for sure. Yeah, a lot of
So
these
we have
like
to look into Atlas because I don't know
yeah.
how many they have.
Have you
Um,
guys seen that kid that plays for Atlas? That he's like a black. He's like Cuban and Mexican.
Jeremy
He's black.
Marquez.
No, he's just really brown. So I'm talking about like
Oh
he has like afro, not afro, but like
no, I know who you're talking about. I always mix them up. But I know
I think he's a
exactly.
winger.
I know who you're talking about.
But he's black. He has his skin tone is like a black person. I'm not talking about Quiñones.
but what about him?
No, I know if
No,
like
but I
if
was
the
gonna
team
mention it.
if the team went to Sonora Grill, he'd be immediately segregated from the rest of the.
Oh yeah, for sure.
To sit him by the bathroom.
No, I was mentioning him because I seen him playing. That kid's fast. He's real fast.
Yeah, he is. No, yeah. Damn it, I'm trying to find his name right now, but I know exactly who you're talking about.
And you got, I don't know who it was that brought up that guy that killed that couple while he was drunk driving. What was that the other black kid that's Mexican too? The
Oh, it's the
one that went to Europe. What was his
damn
name?
it. What's his fucking name?
What
El,
about him? I know
El
who
hijo
you're
de
talking
Villic.
about. David Yeek, some Cameroonian, other Cameroonian.
I don't remember his name, but I seen him. I can
Congolese.
tell his face, and he played for Santos, and then he went to Europe. But he's playing for like a Liga Expansión team, and that guy's fucking huge, man. He can throw
Oziel
like a track.
Herrera.
Yeah, there you go. That's the Atlas kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but that other guy, Chivas should try to look into him. He's big as hell, and he's fast.
Damn, that's gonna
I
bother
agree.
me.
I
He's a striker, right?
Yeah, he is. No,
He
I do agree with that. They do
he
need
scored
a
a hat
player of
trick.
that.
Did he really?
Yeah, I was watching him play. He was twice as big as everyone on the field and faster than all of
Wait,
them.
what he's playing for Santos right now?
No, he's in Expansión for some team. I don't even know the name of the team.
Oh.
Unless he's still somehow owned, like they might somehow still like own him some way,
I
and then that could be a reason.
He came back to
Like
Santos, yeah.
Oh, no,
so
but I
that
seen him play for an Expansión team
no, I
recently.
know, but they just probably have him
I think
there
they loan
till
him out, yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
till like because I do think as soon as he pops up in first, they're gonna make a big deal about that. So they're probably just want some time to pass where then people won't care because there's been a lot of players that have gone through something similar,
Mm-hmm.
and like Ramon Ramirez.
El
Um,
Matón Ramón.
damn, yeah, there's been a few, and then like a lot of people just forgot or just didn't care, and they went on to play. Um, I'm not saying they shouldn't care. Kid made a mistake, but
Everyone deserves
I
a
just
second chance.
well, yeah, I don't think people should treat it as something he did on purpose. It was just
Yeah,
very idiotic on his part.
Joao
And
Malek.
there you go.
there you go.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
It's
Yeah,
bothering me.
him.
It was bothering me.
No, but that kid's good. I know it's Expansión, but
He's
you can when you
six
watch
foot.
football, 6 foot, big guy.
He plays for Depa.
Keep an eye out for him. He's pretty good.
Oh, his coach is Bruno Maioni.
O Marionio.
I don't know if they would even if they were to win like the league, they meet the qualifications to get promoted because their stadium's only 8,000 capacity.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's only like one team or two
There's like
that
yeah, there's like four teams that are eligible to get promoted. Leones Negros, I think Atlante. Uh,
well, Los Negros because they play at Jalisco, but I mean, I don't know
s-
about uh,
I think
the other.
Zacatepec. I could be wrong.
Isn't Celaya one of them?
No, I don't think Zacatepec because I think that's why Higueras, because I think Higuera had that team, and I
Morelia.
think that's why he jumped to Morelia. I think Morelia does have that,
Yeah, Morelia. I think.
but that's
Well,
if and
Zacatepec has one of
when
the
he
best
retires.
stadiums in second division, but so they have that qualification, but maybe not like financially. They might not have.
Well, best no, but I think it has to be like what is it like 40K or what is it 35K or
No,
what?
it has to be like 20,000. I think.
Yeah, I heard it. I heard it was 20.
Okay, let's see, man. We're guessing too much.
Nah, there's no way, bro. There's some teams right now in first division that don't have 30.
Who? We don't have to guess. Hi, man. We could Google search here, man. We're acting
Dude,
like
not
back in
every
the days.
stadium. I don't think Hidalgo, like Pachuca Stadium, is over 30 capacity. Is it?
Okay, the capacity for the stadium that Zacatepec plays is 24K.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Hmm.
saying, bro.
And which team were you saying?
What?
Pachuca.
Kepa.
That
Pachuca?
okay. Let's see.
I think on a good day they might fit 30, but it's not over that. It's not over 35. There's no
Let's
way.
see. Estadio Hidalgo, 30,000.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I'm looking at Wikipedia. Thank God for Wikipedia. So Atlante has 33,000. Morelia has 35. Celaya has 23. Uh, Rayados. I don't think they can get promoted though because they're Monterrey's team, but they have 53 because I think they use the same stadium. Sinaloa has 20, so they just hit the bare minimum. Uh, and yeah, Zacatecas, Tecos, no, not Tecos, Leones Negros. Yeah, yeah, because I remember there was like a team that like Cafetaleros. I remember when they like won the league and then they didn't get promoted.
Didn't that team from Oaxaca went to the Alebrijes? They won it too, and they didn't let them ascend.
Yeah,
And they even put on their page, "Oh, we're first division."
yeah, yeah. It's so stupid. I mean, you got like
Okay, so you were right. 20K. That's
minimum. Yep.
that's the minimum of the for your the stadium you have to go to first division. I think who was it? Lobos Buap. I think their stadium was one of the smallest.
See, Joel, you mentioned that, but just recently, someone on Twitter posted that if Liga MX has those rules and bylaws, right? If that was the case, a bunch of those MLS teams wouldn't be in first division. If it was up to Liga MX. A bunch of their stadiums don't fit that that rule.
20K.
20K, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, but what does
But they
that
want.
got to do with?
No, I'm just saying because the infraestructura, they're beating
Well,
us in this and that, but their
Uh,
stadiums don't hold the 20K.
the MLS
no,
All
but
Star match in Minnesota, 19,400. So yeah,
yeah, no. Well, there's one thing. Um, there's in regards to that, it's because the teams own their own stadiums, and so the smaller the stadium is, obviously the upkeep is cheaper. So that's a big reason because, like for example, back when they had the North American Soccer League, they would play in NFL stadiums,
they just look so
and so
empty.
not only did it look empty, you're paying, it's like you're throwing a party for 50 people in a salon
Yeah,
that hosts 10K, and it's like it doesn't make sense to pay all that money. So that's part of their infrastructure, is that, well, they have stadiums that house less people, but it's easier for them, the whole upkeep, repairs, whatever, and it's some of these stadiums, it's like they can always make them bigger. They can be made bigger. So I think that's smart in their part, where it's like, you don't have all these stadiums that are falling apart, which is something that's happened in Mex, where it's when they were saying like the FIFA requirements, like the FIFA stadium requirements. So you had all these really old stadiums that need upkeep, and that's something that, like, for example, like Azteca, since they've been renovating, they made it way smaller. It was like at a 110 or
Hmm.
120 at one point, and I think they're at like 90, like around 80 or 90, but they got all these like VIP, palcos VIP. I think in part, I think, did you mention it? I think it was because of they host NFL games now,
who does?
Azteca Stadium.
Oh yeah, they
Yeah,
do. Yeah,
So they did more. We need more access to the
yeah.
to the VIPs.
not like a
To
certain toilet bowl stadium.
I wouldn't want
does
Chivas to
look like
hold
a toilet.
enough. Did you see what the Shakira concert did to our field? I don't want no freaking football teams playing on our pitch.
that
Yeah,
wait, that toilet bowl. It, um, I always thought that was one of the big mistakes from
parece taza.
Vergara, man. I think
It was
leaving the Jalisco and dumping all that money for a stadium. I
it's
think
never a mistake to own your own stadium, dog.
it is, man,
Especially
because
one of the most beautiful stadiums in Mexico and in North America.
it is because it's again we were just talking about this. I mean, it costs money for maintenance and all that, and if you're a
Not
team
my
like Chivas,
problem. Not my pockets.
it's not like they're exactly selling
I'm not
out.
convinced that we would have more titles if we hadn't spent the money on a new stadium. I'm not
You
convinced.
you don't think how much was that stadium? Like 100 million?
I don't know.
Like let's say 100 million. When Chivas had
It
like
had to
that
cost
team,
more than that.
okay,
I
but see,
remember hearing back in the day it was 200 million.
two,
Yeah.
okay, I was being generous. Let's say 200 million. You Chivas, you have the team that won in '06 or was it '07? You don't have to sell a lot of these players because when you have when you have a really good team and then your players become seleccionados and they won, of course their wages go up. That's part of the reason why Chivas ends up letting go a lot of these players because they can't afford, it's not in their budget anymore. They can't afford to pay. But if you got all this money, they would have kept a team that strong
It would have
for
went back
more
in their
years.
pockets, bro. They wouldn't have spent it on the players, bro. Trust me.
What if it's corrupt? And if you're saying they're corrupt,
Well, it's just
I
like
do.
there's
Well,
like
they are corrupt.
I'm not convinced that like if we would have because it did cost 200 million to make. I'm not convinced that we would have spent 200 million on players and we would have gotten more titles. I'm just not
No,
convinced.
no, not 200 million, but think how much money was the team putting into the stadium, and that's money that instead of putting into the stadium, they could have put into the squad,
Yeah,
and at least to keep it competitive. And to me, they would have won way more. They would have had more titles by now.
I disagree.
I think you're giving these guys too much credit, Joel.
Yeah, dude, they would have fucking taken that money and just spent. Dude, we're talking about
Let's
Helica
say they
here.
put 50 in. I like. Let's say they just put 50 mil in a new plantilla. What like what? How can you be so sure it wouldn't have ended up like the 50 mil or 40 mil that my my third Tio Pelais spent on Chivas?
No, we can see right now we're talking about like the money is going to to afford to pay these players wages.
Mm-hmm.
Not they're not exactly buying. It's like we have this extra money, so now our budget for wages is this much more. So then they can afford to have a stronger team. Sort of like that's how Tigres does it and all these other teams because they have more money to they can afford to have a team with players like Ignac and whatnot.
I don't
Did
know,
you
bro.
guys see that guy from that that guy from Grupo Carso said that he offered 300 million for Chivas?
On Twitter,
Yeah, that guy from Grupo Carso. He said that or I don't know if it was him or another guy reporting it that he offered 300 million
that's
to
been
buy.
well, you know why that much because they don't want the stadium.
Yeah,
With the stadium, they're valuing the team at close to 800.
no
That's
one's
what the
gonna pay that.
yeah. Nobody wants the stadium. See, you guys just proving my point. Is the stadium ended up being a bad deal for Chivas. Nobody wants it because it's just money that's needlessly going to be wasted.
Oh, I'm not arguing. It's a toilet bowl stadium. I have no dog in the fight. I'm just saying.
It's supposed to be a volcano, okay? And that's supposed to be the clouds.
I do think eventually Chivas needed their own stadium because Jalisco is owned by Clubes Unidos. So Chivas never owned Jalisco or even had like stock in it. They were just kind of part of like the deal. I do think eventually they would, but I don't think they were in that position. Like I would have want them to just put money in making the team more successful. And once you're like, you're kicking ass and taking names, and then build a stadium, but like do it right because this guy didn't. He wasn't thinking like, okay, where's the best place for me to put the stadium?
Mm.
He owned that land already,
He did it on the
and
fly.
he did because he thought he was gonna be able to like bring business there. He said, if I put Chivas Stadium and then it's gonna bring this other businesses because the plan was to have like
Ho-
5 buildings
like
in there.
hotels and
Yeah,
shopping
yeah,
Didn't
like
you
a
center.
say it's in the
mall.
middle of nowhere, Jaime?
It's pretty far out, man.
See, that
You know
was
the
dumb.
first rule of realty, man. Location.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I mean, there's no other place to put it. Like it's such a big
I think
stadium. But
who knows, Jaime? Who knows? It could.
Guadalajara's a fucking crazy ass city, bro. There's no way they would have had to like tear down some houses and shit. Like it just wasn't gonna happen any other way.
They could. They could have put it. What's that section going into the zoo?
Yeah, they could have done it
What's
there. All the
what's that? What's that called, man? I forget.
like the jardín there.
It's just going to the zoo.
No,
I just know the.
I'm very familiar with it because
Yeah.
I walked to the zoo mistakenly, and dude, that area was sketch. They were,
There's a lot of trees. There's a lot of trees around there.
dude. I was
We,
walking
we,
around with my girlfriend, and I felt bad because every 2 seconds, medicina, medicina, medicina. They're
yeah. Well,
they're all trying to
Jeez.
sell me drugs, bro.
there you go, man. I mean, they would have. Chivas would have gentrified that area. But
But
yeah, take down some trees and knock out some older neighborhoods, and there you go.
yeah,
That's what they did.
Some great stadiums have been built that way.
yeah.
Yeah, well,
Tearing down
the
neighborhoods and
the
certain buildings.
Staples Center.
Dodger Stadium as well.
Oh, that's where
Oh,
the
that's
Mexicans
right.
were at.
Yeah, they kicked out all those Mex, all those paisas.
Yep, that's right. Joel on baby duty. I do want to talk
Mm.
about other teams in the league, so I'll quickly go over some of the results. Right now in first place is Toluca. They are doing very well under Ignacio Ambriz. They beat Tijuana 3-1 over the weekend. I believe this game was on VIX, so I wasn't able to watch it.
Mm.
Monterrey in second place with 16 points. And they also had a really good weekend. They beat Leon 5-1.
No, they didn't beat them, Jaime. You know what I'm gonna say?
What?
They porked them.
They porked them?
Oh, that was bad.
Like,
And Leon's a pretty scrappy team.
yeah. Yeah, it's been pretty bad. Tigres in third place. They lost to Pachuca on Sunday.
They're
2-0.
very beatable.
And then Pachuca is in the top four with 12 points. Necaxa, Santos, Puebla, Tijuana, León, Pumas, Cruz Azul, Juárez, Atlas, America. What's up with you guys
Yep.
in 14th position?
That tour, man.
One win.
That tour. That is true. You
One,
guys did have.
one win though. They had one win and they jumped all the way. Weren't they in last place just like a
We had
week
2 wins,
before?
well.
2 wins.
Yeah, we beat Toluca with that amazing goal. It should have been 2, but my boy El Fidalgo, El Niño Polla, they discounted his goal.
El Niño Polla. Isn't that a porn star?
Yeah, like that porn star.
Jaime told me this. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, okay.
I have no idea
I'll
what the
take-
hell you guys are talking about.
No, he looks like a stool.
I don't even want to Google it, dude. Fuck that. That and El Negro from WhatsApp. Don't Google that shit, dude.
I never thought
Or
we would
este
discuss
Zage.
El
Don't
Niño
Google
Polla in
Zage
the
either.
podcast.
El Fidalgazo. Though they've MLS has been. I mean, my tío Oscarga has been whoring out America to the MLS and to all these European teams for this tour. El Tour Águila.
Yep. You guys played some pretty good competition.
Nos quedó chica la Liga MX. La Liga MX. We should
Yeah,
be
I will say that does take a toll on you as far as like having to travel to the states and then still have like your league games in the on the weekends.
hmm
As of right now, Liga MX's best players are in Minneapolis for the MLS versus Liga MX's All Star match. Please contain
they're
your
there
excitement, guys.
they're in Minneapolis, and they're over there in Minneapolis. They're playing patty cake, canicas, and jump rope. While Flamingo and Corinthians are playing an
Oh.
intense Libertadores match. Crazy, crazy times.
And you know what else is crazy is people are asking, "Hey, where can I see the All Star game?" Instead of, "Hey, where can I watch Libertadores?" Like,
Disgusting.
Well, because All Star has with Chicharo Vela and some of the players that these guys want to see.
Those pecho frios?
Where they want to see them, like I don't think a lot of people will probably have access to, you know, the Campeonato Brasileiro and to know who's playing, and you don't care about that match.
They don't care about MLS either. Did you see that article I tweeted you
Which one? Because I get a lot of articles.
about the
Which,
MLS and its shit ratings?
oh,
The, if it was a
there-
TV show, it would have got canceled a long, long time ago.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, their ratings have never been that good, and that's the whole thing. And we bring it back to the stadium, because then their stadium attendance is good. So I do think that's hurt them, is the exposure to TV, where they haven't been able to get over that hurdle. Um,
don't worry,
but yeah, no,
guys.
man, that's
We're only 1 year away until all this goes away.
what's gonna happen, Jaime. The World
Uh,
Cup.
MLS, all their games and rights have been sold to Apple.
Oh, Apple, yes, I
So
forgot.
unless you have an
That's
Apple,
great.
unless you have
That's
an
great
Apple,
news.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like no more to the end and gromeando every player.
But I mean exclusives. I mean, because Apple could just be for English.
You're right,
They got
Joel. I didn't
everything,
think about
bro.
that.
No, they could just be
No, they
English
got everything,
broadcast.
dude. They got everything. You're not
Hopefully, they
Well,
get everything.
you're not gonna be
they,
able to watch any MLS game on your local TV station or anything, dude. They got the
but
whole
you saying
package.
Apple's gonna do Spanish broadcast too?
Um,
Don't put it past them, Joel. They do that with whenever I'm flipping over in the on ESPN when I try to watch boxing and a MLS match is on.
Yeah.
If you try to click on the on like your local team or something, it doesn't let you go to it.
Oh.
yeah. So starting next year, like Apple's gonna be doing all that. The only bad part about that is it also includes the league's cup. So, uh, some of the Liga MX teams will have to you have to watch it on Apple TV. But I was watching this All Star game today. It wasn't a game. It was just like they were doing these like skills challenge thing, and as per usual, the Liga MX players were not taking it serious. They were just jerking off, and I'm like watching this shit. I'm like, bro, I wish they would put like an average that's not a professional that doesn't do this for a living. I wish they could just put them like alongside just to see how good these guys really are. Cause dude, this shit looked easy as fuck to me, bro. Honestly, like you got to put the ball in like the little like nets or like hit the little
Oh yeah.
targets. I'm like, bro, I could do this in my sleep, bro. Like,
I don't know, Jaime. That's part of being a profession, is making these things look easy.
no, cause I remember when I was a kid and like they would have like the friendlies, like, at the Oakland Arena or whatever, and they would have these like little things for the kids to do. Like I remember all these challenges, bro, and I would always be like really good at them. I'm like, dude, this is easy. Like even Hector Herrera was like struggling with like the easiest ones. I'm like, man,
Well, that guy's retired though, Jaime. You can't use him as an example.
he's he's using, oh man.
you should have seen the broadcast. So they were like, oh, Hector Herrera, he's gonna win this one. I'm like, he lost. He actually got embarrassed by Luis Chavez. But in the end, Liga MX came back. They did like this like volley challenge where they had to hit it in the goal, and like one of Atlas players did like two or three like scissor kicks. I'm like, holy shit. And then they did like a crossbar challenge at the very end, and I was like, okay. But tomorrow's the All-Star game, and obviously all the MLS fans are like, we're gonna win this, and Liga MX sucks. But just want to know if you guys have any predictions for tomorrow, if you guys even care.
No predictions. I mean, I don't even know who's there. I don't even know who got called up for either side. I'm guessing Chicharo and Vela. That was way early on, where the joke was that MLS had more Mexican players
Oh yeah.
than the Liga MX All Stars. Um,
Well,
no, this is.
they have Herrera too now.
That's embarrassing, man.
see, see now you see the Chiva pain. You see how bad things are when the MLS All Stars have more Mexicans than the Liga MX All Stars.
I don't blame so much the. I don't take it that way. I take it more as these guys are pecho frios and they don't want to deal with the Mexican league. Just like I was gonna mention earlier, uh, that Chicharo, he's like, oh, I'd play for free if Manchester United called me again.
I bet
Like,
he would.
you should have that posture when a team like Chiva calls you, man, instead of playing for a team that no one cares about. Querétaro más grande que any team in MLS.
Also, what a stupid statement that is. Like, oh yeah, I would if they I would do it for free. Like, oh yeah, I would bang Kim Kardashian for free. Like, of course you would. Like, what kind of stupid question is? What kind of statement is that, man?
Of
I'll
course,
play
he
for.
was probably yes. He was probably yes, Jaime.
He's
He
been saying a
probably
lot of
yes.
dumb shit lately, though. He's been saying that, oh, if Madrid called him, he'd go back too. Like, no one's calling you, man.
That's what I'm saying. No
Where's this
one's
coming
calling
from?
you.
Typical cuck behavior.
No one's on the phone being like, please fuck me right now for free. Like, no one's doing that, Chichero. No one. Not even Chivas.
Chicharo. So he's chasing cloud.
But he
Chivas
says,
would take him in a heartbeat, man. Come
That
on.
guy's a clown, man.
yeah,
So is Vela.
Vela doesn't care though. That's the difference.
I don't think Vela's a clown, man.
He's
got a good.
he's a pretty smart guy. He's just like misunderstood.
Yeah. He's got.
But he's going to go down as the guy that retired at 30 at MLS, man. The prime of his career.
I don't think he cares because he's got money.
Exactly.
So you
He's
say
got
that?
a good quality of life.
You guys say that.
You think
but
he's
then
gonna
they
lose
end
sleep
up
at
in
night?
Mexico. Then they end up
Yeah.
in Mexico and they try to look for a job in Mexico.
No,
and they
he's
try to
not
stay
though.
relevant in Mexico.
He's not. He has enough money that he's good here.
Bro, he doesn't like soccer, man. He ain't gonna try and get a job in Mexico.
He's gonna. He could be. I could see him staying and being some type of job in LAFC.
He's gonna try to be an NBA scout.
But
Payaso.
no, I think he was just really good at he is good at football, and he was never like super into it, but it became like something he could do for money, and he
Because
did do it
if
for
we
many
break
years.
it down, this guy never won anything in his life, ever.
Yeah, but that doesn't make him a loser, dude. I mean, the life he
How
has.
dare you? He won an under 17 World Cup. Does that not mean anything?
Nah, it
He
doesn't.
played at a World Cup. He's very accomplished. I
A
would
lot
say,
of people playing World Cups.
He won a Gold
No,
Cup.
they don't. Oh,
Well,
I'm
a lot
sorry.
of football players, I mean, not people.
Nope.
Let me retract that.
Nope. Look, if you see the number of people that try to become professional, it's like less than 1% of the people that try out the numbers that will eventually make it to professional.
Let's
then
see.
The ones that stay they have a career, even less, and then those that become like stay in the spotlight or get to be, in all those big tournaments. It's not an easy sport, man. It's
No, I'm not arguing the numbers in regards to.
no, because you said a lot of people, but it's not, dude. If you think about it,
No,
not
I'm just
really,
more so
man.
comparing him to his peers. Hall. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Okay, but still, he got to do all that, and he just doesn't really, it's not his first
it's a
love,
it's a
man.
it's a job for him. But I do agree
It
with you.
is.
He hasn't won anything. Let's be honest. I was trolling. He,
But that's my point. Like he's up there because let's let's be honest. A lot of people like him because he came from Chivas.
But he's talented, man.
I
If
don't
he
think
wasn't,
people like him because he came from Chivas, bro.
A lot of people like him because of that Jaime.
He
A lot
doesn't
of people
even
follow him.
remember he was playing for Chivas at one point.
No, he doesn't, but gullible fans do.
This guy
no, he
never
never
made
even played.
he never made his
Yeah.
debut.
Tell that to those gullible fans.
Honestly, I think more people that defend him or that are fans of him are because he plays in the MLS for LAFC.
He's retired as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
And so is Herrera, man. That guy's washed, super washed.
yeah, yeah, man. I'm looking at this World Cup roster. I'm like, dude, why are we taking him? The only one I would take would be Chicharo, honestly, because we need goals and he can score goals.
I wouldn't.
I would take him over Henry Martin.
Now that you're speaking about Martin, he just had to put the fear of God and that they're gonna send him to Chivas, and he just happened to start scoring goals, man. It's
Did he score
You're
crazy.
like,
against
no,
Madrid?
okay, I'll do
He
better. I'm sorry.
he scored a brace against Juarez too.
See, this is what I
He
don't
just had to scare him to go into Chivas, and then he got his shit together.
What I don't get is everybody was shitting on Martin for fucking years. All of a sudden, he scores a brace to give you guys the victory, and he's like, "Oh yeah, he's the real deal." Fuck
Not
out of here.
everyone, Jaime.
Fuck
Jaime,
out of
not,
here.
I was always Martin, not Ryder, since he was at Cholos. I actually wanted him for Chivas since he was at Cholos. I thought he would have been a good capture.
He's still patas de raqueta to me, but I was just hoping Chivas would buy him. And if you guys listen to that interview with Peláez with that guy, don't don't I mean expect him to end up at Chivas eventually. The answer that Peláez gave is pretty like how would I say,
yeah,
like
Open ended.
yeah, it was
yeah.
an open ended,
He
yeah,
kind
like
of
he gave
teased at
like
the
an
end.
open ended answer. Like, oh, they're still trying to get him.
Yeah, they're still
I
trying to get
mean,
him.
and you said you would be good with him leaving.
Ugh.
Because, I mean, yeah, Chivas could use him, man.
Who doesn't like cash?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Well, they already put a price on him, 5 mil.
That's not even that bad, honestly.
Chivas just needs to
But in
stop being so
Chivas,
cute.
that's gonna be inflated a little bit more. That's gonna be closer to 10
I'll call my tío Oscarraga and I'll get him up. I'll get him down to 7 for you.
for sure. We have some pretty interesting matchups this weekend. Obviously, we talked about one earlier, Chivas Atlas, but there's also another rivalry, Pumas America. This one to me appeals because you come off of getting that beat down 6-0 in Barcelona. You kind of have a chip on your shoulder. Now you're at home and you play against America, and you know there's a rivalry there. Do you think Pumas are gonna sort of try to make good graces with their fans and get a victory?
Definitely. These other teams are like when Central America plays Mexico. Like they get infuriated. They play with like a second passion, man. Like
It's like the World Cup
that's
final
their
for them.
yeah. It's a Super Bowl, World Series, World Cup final, all wrapped up in one for them.
Yeah.
That's what, that comment, that's something that I agreed with Hugo Sanchez. I heard him talking about the Puma players when they played Barcelona,
Yep.
and he said that's how they should have seen the game. Like it's
Hmm.
like a final, like if they're playing a World Cup final. And I do think for a lot of these players that are not going to be selección or they're not going to be in like big teams and whatnot, it is, man, because very few chances you're going to get to play in a venue like that or against a team like that.
That's a once in a
Mm-hmm.
And
lifetime opportunity.
yeah, so I do think, um, in that sense, Liliani could have dropped the ball where he didn't communicate the importance of the match,
In what other
just because it
universe does Barcelona
just
play Pumas?
just
Yeah.
just because it was a friendly, that shouldn't matter to them.
But Mexican teams are like that in general, though. I don't know. I
No, no, come on.
wasn't it you, Hall, that mentioned that the Libertadores final against or Sudamericana with Pumas too, where they played. I don't know what was it, Boca, that they played in the Sudamericana final back in the day, and like in the pregame, like the Boca team or the other team, I don't remember which team it was. It was an Argentine team though, and they were all intense, firing each other up and getting ready. And Pumas was just nonchalant about it. They're like just happy to be there.
No, that wasn't me, but that's a good analogy, and I do think that does happen a lot of times
It
with
was
But they get starstruck.
Pumas versus Boca.
So there you go. Yeah, that
yeah,
one.
yeah, no, that does come from I do think lack of being in those type of tournaments, and even
Mm-hmm.
from the fans, because those players know that if they go back, the fans won't let them live it. They won't let them forget that, and it's like they know that at the least they have to go down fighting, or else because the fans expect that. The fans make because they're uh, and I do think fans should be more like that because yeah, I feel the same way. That Mexican fans are like that too, like very nonchalant. Now I don't mean like having to go like they were doing. Who was it to Monterrey when they were like waiting for players in the parking lot and or going to the hotel. That's a
Mm-hmm.
bit that's a bit too much. But I do think they could put pressure to Directiva and stuff like that. There's other ways of putting pressure without threatening the players. Um, but there is, but because I remember Chivas when they gave him a pass into the Libertadores finals, and Vergara said, "Yeah, we're not getting any refuerzos," and that to me was like, this dude doesn't seem to care. He should be saying we're gonna, because they were allowed. I don't know if you guys remember, Mexican teams, where all the teams they're allowed to get like three extra players,
Mm-hmm.
Like
and
on loan,
teams would
right?
a lot of yeah. Well, you could just register three extra players, and these guys would
Cardoso de Pachuca,
yeah
Boni de Pachuca, Cardoso de Cruz Azul.
yes.
Bunch of examples.
Well,
Wait,
Chivas had
Boni where?
Corona as goalkeeper,
Oh,
and
yep.
well, obviously, right,
Oribe
and
Peralta to
also
Chivas.
yes, they did. They had him for Libertadores.
Yep.
That's why I get so upset when you bring up this uh, Campeonato de Chocolate, Joel. I remember these. I mentioned in that tweet. I mentioned you. I mentioned with what I sent to you. Both Chivas, more so Chivas, they were at the cusp, man. It was right there for them to get the Libertadores, and then these scummy mafioso Liga MX owners want to feed us shit in a spoon, man. I remember I was working when I was in high school. I remember that final. I was working as a bar back, and it was during summer. I remember. I'll never forget because when I was working, the game was on, and you should have seen all the Chivas. There's never in my life have I seen so many Chivas fans before, and they were screaming that Bofo goal, that header that he did on Inter.
Yeah.
It was the it, I'm a Chivas hater, and even I felt that when he scored that, I was like, man, that's just crazy. And then they're trying to feed us shit with a spoon with this MLS tournament,
MLS tournament. Oh, yeah,
the
this
Leagues
yeah.
Cup.
Yeah, the two don't compare, but there's nothing we can do about it. Um, and unfortunately, people will tune in, and that's all that matters. Um, but yeah, guys, I gotta put a bow tie on this conversation, but I do want to hear your closing thoughts for episode 344 before we sign off.
Well, I'd like to apologize. I think we're me and what's his name? The Al Pastor were a little harsh on Joel in the last podcast. It was like a handicap match back in the day. We were going off on him, but you just gotta understand. Oh, I'm passionate about this, man. No hard feelings.
Was a big boy.
Yeah, you can handle it.
He can handle it. He's on mute though.
Oh man, good thing you said as I was talking for the last 2 minutes.
He's like, you mother.
I was saying,
I could have
no,
promo on you, man.
no, I heard it, and I was talking. I was saying this part, like, I was like cantina, because it's sort of like we wanted to create that like pub banter, like if you're
Hmm.
watching a game, drinking a beer. Sometimes we would. We used to drink on during the show. um, but that's no man. That's part of the football. Always, like you said, the passion that comes with it. I don't take it. I never take it negative. Um, so it's all good, and this is what we like. That's why we like doing it in live spaces and always invite everyone to speak.
Absolutely, man. We encourage it. We need to hear it too. We need to hear opposing opinions because it could just be a Chios podcast the whole time. So we need people on the other sides, and be like, no, you guys are pathetic. Like, thank you.
You're welcome.
Joel, what you got for me, man?
Just on goats. My closing thoughts. I do think this is going to be a big game for them. The Atlas game, and I do think if they could turn it around, this would be the match to do so. Uh, and in case they don't, just because Atlas is the better team, um, I think they should just let let Cadena finish the season. They could start looking for someone else. I've never been a fan of coaches coming in mid-season or with and then it's sort of like it creates this like bad cycle where it's like you come in to try to fix a team, and then let's say you get one or two bad results, and then all of a sudden they pile it on for the next season. So they make it seem like it's your fault. You know what I mean?
Is
Like
this
whatever.
Cadena's last match for Chivas?
I I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, the team would just look bad if they put another interim, otro interino, and then it just looks like a joke to me at this point.
What do
I
you
mean, like
replace
just
the replacement with?
well, that's why you start looking for the best possible coach, and then you give him a clean slate. Then you don't, let this guy finish the season however it is, but no need to, you know, bundle those defeats. I remember when Boy came in, right? He came into a pretty shitty situation, and then he had to play these teams from Europe, like Atletico Madrid and all these teams. Man, this guy was thrown into a boat with leaks everywhere. And I think he was doing a good job, but fans were hating on him because they piled on whatever trash was already there. They just piled it on, and he never really got a fair shot. From the start, people were already like, he sucks and whatnot.
No,
Who
no.
you want then, Joel?
Who would I like? Man, being realistic, like of who the team could get, I will go for La Volpe, though I don't know if he would want to come back,
Mm.
given the whole thing with the podologa and
Well,
he got that was
do they still have the
legit.
same masseuses?
No, I think it was Angelica because that created that whole thing because it was during the whole Me Too movement, and I think she
Mm.
just wanted to like because she's like she was living in New York, and she would like give money to a lot of these type of
Organizations.
like or yeah. So I think that was something that she sort of pushed so that she could look good.
Yeah.
because you never really heard her the you never really heard her say anything like the podologa lady, and it's like she was just trying to ride this wave and ruin this dude's career.
Yeah.
Which I mean, there is that possibility, but I just don't buy it, man. This dude's pretty loaded. He could just he can afford some top tail if he wants to, man. It's not like he's thirsty. He could just go.
I
So
I've learned that in Mexico, a massage means something else.
and that was one of the rumors that this um you know this lady was doing favors for the players.
Oh, I
So
bet
then
she was.
so then there's that,
That
and
makes sense.
that they told her like, hey man, she's DTF, you know. And then
Maybe he
old
forgot to
man.
use the code word, and she was just like, "How dare you?"
Well, she could have been like, well, just with the hot guys, I don't need your old balls right here, you know. Put that thing away. I mean, cause then think about it. These dudes wouldn't you do the same if you're a masseuse for like some female volleyball team and it's all these hot girls and they're just you know and then all of a sudden the coach comes in one day and it's yeah.
No, I
Yeah,
get it.
we're going off topic again. I no it's I do think because this dude continued his career and that sort of went away. It was kind of nasty thing to happen. um but I do think he would be a good fit for the club.
I think it's like one of those jobs where, like, if HR fired you for that, I don't think you're like hireable again.
No, but yeah, that's true. That's true.
But it's
And
Mexico though.
he ended up going to.
But
It is.
Chivas always try to be like, we take discipline, very serious, and what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think
Mm.
they would rehire
Yeah. No,
him.
I know we're like joking about it, but I don't think is that we don't take that serious. Um, it's just the way the case played out because it went to court and
It went to court. Damn.
it did, man. This dude
How much
got
was his
tried.
hand job? Jesus.
No, wait, Jaime, we have to be, we can't
Sorry.
be insensitive because we had the recent thing with the female coach
Oh
doing to
yeah,
the players.
that's
And
right.
so you have that happen too. But then this one, I think the case got dropped, and that's why I feel that. And then she didn't really go on and talk about it,
Mm.
and she had a lot of backing because Angelica
Yeah,
was making sure that you know, and so, but I do think that it was a bit more on the fabrication. That's just my take. I'm not saying
yeah.
that's what happened. Um, but I think he would be a good fit as far as like he knows how to work with youth and he knows the league. So I would he's worked with Pelias before. I think he's one of
America.
the that's well Pelias is America.
Yeah.
Um, damn, dude, that's how low Chivas has fallen. They're just all these America players and
But he
they
played
can't.
for Chivas too.
He did, he did, but he was from their cantera. He
Oh,
was from the He was from the America Cantera, man.
for sure.
Dang, you're getting me depressed now, Jaime. I don't want this ending in a
what
low
a
note
what a great
with
way
all
to end
these
the podcast.
accusations and whatnot.
For sure. Well, want to thank everyone for hopping on tonight. Thank you guys, and we'll see how this MLS League MX All Star match goes on tomorrow. We'll see who's going to have the bragging rights for the rest of the year. And I'm looking forward to these two civil wars. You got the Chivas Atlas match. Maybe this is the turning point for the season for Chivas. Probably not. And then we'll see if Pumas bounce back against America. Either way, we'll talk about